back exercise, or the roll up exercise, is a really lovely exercise for strengthening your abdominals, and also get some lovely flexibility and strength in your spine. So I'm going to demonstrate one particular roll up or roll back, and then I can give you lots of different variations. So I'm going to come to sitting on my sit bones with my legs extended, and I'm going to have my hands on my thighs. I'm going to breathe in to sit tall, breathe out. I'm tucking my pelvis under and I'm rolling myself back, one vertebra at a time, starting from my lower back, controlling from my abdominals until I bring my spine all the way back down onto the mat. I take a breath in here. As I breathe out, I bring my head up, and then I roll my spine from the top all the way down to the bottom, using my tummy and not my shoulders. And then I always just like getting a nice stretch over my legs before I go back into another one. Let me just do one more for you. I'm going to slightly alter my hand position. So breathing in to sit tall, breathe out, just tuck my pelvis under. So I'm not leaning back from my shoulders, I'm just tucking my pelvis all the way under. I get my lower back into the mat, and then I work from the base of the spine all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to come up in reverse. So breathe in, bring your head up, breathe out. You can just roll your spine off. You can bring your arms up. Keep in a curve until you're all the way back onto your sit bones, and you can sit tall, or you can get a nice stretch over your legs before you sit tall and go on to the next one. So now I'm going to run through various adaptations that you can do and work yourself up to that. If you find that you're not being able to go the whole way down, or even more so, coming up without using your shoulders, then let's start with some easier versions and you can work up to that. So come to sitting with your knees bent. Your feet can be flat, or you can just have your heels down. You don't have to have your toes down. But sitting tall and your hands just resting on the outside of your thighs. Now you're going to let your hands come back with you, because you always want to keep nice and open across the shoulders. You're never going to close in here, because that means you're using your shoulders and you're not then using your abdominals. So let's just do a little one to begin with. So always starting sitting on your sit bones, breathing into sit tall. Always start by tucking that pelvis under. So I'm not leaning back from here. I'm just tucking this pelvis under, and I'm just rolling. It's like someone's got a rug and is pulling that rug from underneath me. So only just come down a little way so far. I haven't quite got my whole sacrum down here, but my shoulders are relaxed. So I'm now going to pull in my abdominals, and I'm going to keep coming forward from my abdominals, not my shoulders. I'm keeping in a curve until my shoulder is right above the hip, and then I'm sitting tall again. So I'll do another one like that. So my hands aren't doing anything. I just need to keep my shoulders open, but you can have your hands resting here. Take a breath in, breathe out, tuck your pelvis under, and let your hands come back with you, so you keep open across the chest and collarbone. Just keep tucking this pelvis under, and just come down a little way. Stay here, take a breath in, and breathe out, pulling in your abdominals here, coming forward in a curve. Keeping in that curve until the shoulders are above the hips, and sit nice and tall. Now, if you are happy at that level, just carry on with that level. If you want to go a little bit further, we'll go a little bit further down. So take a breath in, breathe out, tuck your pelvis under, and keep coming down. So I've got my sacrum down, and now coming all the way down. Now I'm just going to come down to here, because it's often when you go further down that it's the hardest bit. And then I'm going to come up from my abdominals all the way. So I've got most of my spine down. I just didn't get between the shoulder blades. I'll do one more at that level. Take a breath in, breathe out, tuck your pelvis under. So to keep any tension out of your thighs here, just work from your abdominals, just switch off the thighs. Coming down to my shoulder blades, the tips of my shoulder blades. Take a breath in, breathe out, pull in my core, and then come up again, keeping nice and open here. It's like I've got a bamboo pole between the front of my shoulders so it can't come forward, and then sit tall. So I did that with my legs bent, and I'm now going to another leg position. Some people find they prefer it with their legs straight, so you can experiment whether you like it straight or your knees bent. Slightly easy if you keep your feet hip width apart. So sitting nice and tall, breathe in, breathe out, tuck your pelvis under, and do exactly the same. So you can just let your hands come back with you so you stay nice and open. So you can either come to the tips of the shoulder blades and come up from there. Again, you can always get a stretch over your legs each time, or just come to sitting, or breathe in to sit tall, breathe out. Now I'm going to go the whole way back down. So from the lower back all the way down, which is what I demonstrated at the beginning. And then breathing in to bring your head up. So the easiest is we've got your legs hip width apart, and you can just have your hands just resting lightly on your thighs, keeping in a curve. Come all the way forward, get a nice stretch, and then sit tall. Now, some people, if you've got very curvy lower backs and you find it really hard, just that you get stuck at a particular point, try putting a little cushion in your lower back. This is a very little one. You can always have a slightly deeper one and then work down to a little one and then work down to none at all. It just helps the sort of very tight sticking point that a lot of people have. So let's give that one a go. Take a breath in, breathe out, tuck the pelvis under, come back down, and all the way down. And then breathing in to bring your head up, and breathing out, curl yourself forward. It just sort of helps pop you up a tiny bit, because you're still working your spine, you're still working your abdominals, but it just makes it a little bit more achievable. And then as you manage to do that, make sure your cushion gets smaller and smaller until you don't need it. So various leg positions and arm positions make that a little bit harder. So as I said, we've just done one with our hands on our thighs, the feet are hip width apart. To make it slightly harder, I could have my feet together, but still my hands on my thighs. And I'm going to show you some different arm positions now. So experiment with your legs, and now let's experiment with our arms. So the next arm position from the hands just on the thighs is directly in line with the shoulders. Breathe in to sit tall, breathe out, come back down, keep the shoulders nice and open. And now I'm going to take my arms behind my head. And I'm going to come up and adjust my arm position so that I'm only using my tummy, not my shoulders. So you breathe in to bring your arms and your head up, and then you can just bring your arms back to being in line with the shoulders as you come forward. Get that stretch, and then sit nice and tall. So that was one arm position. And then you can have your hands by your temples. Breathe in to sit tall, breathe out, tuck your pelvis under. Again, you must control how you come back down so you're not collapsing, you're using your abdominals each time. Now it's very hard to come up with your hands by your temples. So you can always then, if you can go back with your temples, which is easier than coming up, then you can have your arms behind your head. And again, you just roll up. It's a bit like your spine is a bicycle chain. You just want to bring one vertebra off at a time. Have your arms high or bring your arms low. You experiment and do what's right. Also, some days you can come up really easily. Some days you'll feel a bit tired. So always adjust accordingly. So I'm going to do the hardest version now, which is going back both with my hands by my temples and trying to come up with my hands by my temples. So breathing in and breathing out, coming forward. Get a nice stretch, take my head right over, get a really good stretch and sit tall. So that's the roll back, which I absolutely love because it's really good. It's keeping your tummy strong, your back strong, getting lovely flexibility in your spine. And sometimes if I'll come up a few times with my hands by my temples, then I start to feel maybe my tummy's getting a bit tired and my shoulders are starting to come in, and then I'll adjust my arm position. So however tired you're feeling, whatever's going on in your life and your body, you can find a level here that will suit you, so you can always keep working your spine, always keep working your tummy. And as I say, it's one of my favourite exercises, so I hope you enjoy it too.